Hello guys, we're back for part 2 of the Code of the Duelist rulings. So we're looking at Goki Twist Cobra. First question is, if I activate the first effect of Goki Twist Cobra by attributing a Goki Riscorpio, whose original attack was half to 1150 by the effect of Shrink, how much attack will the targeted monster gain? The answer is the original attack described in the effect of Goki Twist Cobra is the printed attack of the tributed monster. Therefore, since Goki Riscorpio was tributed, the targeted monster gains 2,300 attack. Next question is, a defense position Goki Suprex and attack position Goki Twist Cobra are face up on my field. During the damage step in which my opponent's Cyverse Wizard is attacking my Goki Suprex, can I activate the effect of Goki Twist Cobra by attributing the battling Goki Suprex? The answer is, even in this scenario, when activating the effect of Goki Twist Cobra during the damage step, you can tribute the battling Goki Suprex. In this case, damage calculation is not performed and the damage step ends, but the effect of Goki Twist Cobra is applied normally. Next is questions for Cracking Dragon. First question is, I special summon a Dogoron, the Mad Flame Kaiju, from my hand to my opponent's field by attributing one monster on my opponent's field. In this case, if Cracking Dragon was face up on my field, can I activate its effect? The answer is, in this scenario, special summoning Dogoron, the Mad Flame Kaiju, to your opponent's field is not treated as your opponent's special summoning a monster, so the effect of Cracking Dragon cannot be activated. Next question is, during my turn, my opponent activates Call of the Haunted and special summons a Dino Suing from their graveyard with 0 attack. In this case, if Cracking Dragon was face up on my field, can I activate its effect? The answer is, even in this scenario, since your opponent special summoned one monster, you can activate the effect of Cracking Dragon. Dino Suing is a level 4 monster, so the effect of Cracking Dragon will make it lose attack equal to its level times 200, which is 800. However, since Dino Suing has 0 attack, your opponent takes no damage. Also, if you attack Dino Suing with Cracking Dragon this turn, Dino Suing will gain 1000 attack and defense, but since the effect of Cracking Dragon was applied, its resulting attack will be 200. So it backlogs the effect. Next question is, when my opponent special summons an Xyz or Lynx monster, can I activate the effect of Cracking Dragon? The answer is, Xyz and Link monsters have no levels, so when your opponent special summons an Xyz or Link monster, you cannot activate the effect of Cracking Dragon. Next question is, when my opponent normal summons a Salvagent Driver, I activate the effect of Cracking Dragon. If Book of Moon is chained to the effect and Salvagent Driver is changed to the face down defense position, what happens? The answer is, when resolving the effect of Cracking Dragon, if the monster your opponent normal or special summoned is in face-down defense position, neither part of the effect is applied. Next question is, when my opponent normal summons a Stack Reviver, I activate the effect of Cracking Dragon. In this case, how much damage is inflicted to my opponent? The answer is, in this scenario, since Stack Reviver is a level 2 monster, the effect of Cracking Dragon will make it lose attack equal to its level times 200, which is 400. However, since Stack Reviver is a monster with 100 attack, it only loses that 100 attack, and the damage inflicted to your opponent is also 100. Next questions are for Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes. First question is, if I activate the pendulum effect of Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes, but my opponent chains Mystical Space Typhoon and destroys it, how does the effect resolve? The answer is, in this case, if the Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes that activated its effect is destroyed by Mystical Space Typhoon, the pendulum effect cannot destroy it, and you cannot add a pendulum monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. Next question is, if White Dragon Ninja is face up on my field, can I activate the pendulum effect of Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes? The answer is, even if the effect of White Dragon Ninja is applying, you can activate the pendulum effect of Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes. In that case, Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes is not destroyed when resolving its effect, and you cannot add a pendulum monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. The next question is, Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes and a Dynamist Rex that was special summoned by the effect of Dynamist Rush are both face up in my monster zone. In this case, if Dynamis Rex inflicts battle damage to my opponent while unaffected by other card effects, will the effect of Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes double that damage? The answer is the effect of Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes that doubles battle damage inflicted by pendulum monsters on your field is not an effect that is applied to those monsters. In this scenario, the battle damage inflicted to your opponent by Dynamis Rex, which was special summoned by the effect of Dynamis Rush, is still doubled. The next questions are for World Legacy World Chalice. First question is the effect of World Legacy World Chalice that sends a monster to the graveyard when it is special summoned from the extra deck an effect that negates the special summon? The answer is the effect of World Legacy World Chalice that sends monsters to the graveyard when they are special summoned from the extra deck is not one that negates the special summon. The effect is activated in response to the successful special summon and sends the summoned monsters to the graveyard. If a monster sent to the graveyard by the effect of World Legacy World Chalice was, for example, a Link monster that was Link summoned, it was sent to the graveyard after being properly special summoned, so it can be special summoned with Monster Reborn. Next question is Macrocosmos is face up on my opponent's field, and its effect that banishes any card that would be sent to the graveyard is applying. In this situation, when Gaio's Saber, the Lightning Shadow, is Link summoned, can I activate the effect of World Legacy World Chalice that sends monsters to the graveyard when they are special summoned from the extra deck? The answer is even if the effect of Macrocosmos is applying, you can activate the effect of World Legacy World Chalice. Both World Legacy World Chalice itself, when tributed to activate its effect, and the monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, in this case Gaio's Saber, the Lightning Shadow, are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. Next question is Decode Talker is face up in my extra monster zone. In this situation, I activated 2 copies of Pendulum Reborn in the same chain, and special summon a Guiding Ariadne and Archfiend Eccentric from my face up extra deck. At this time, if my opponent activates the effect of their World Legacy World Chalice that sends monsters to the graveyard when they are special summoned from the extra deck, what happens? The answer is, in this scenario, the effect of World Legacy World Chalice is applied to both Guiding Ariadne and Archfiend Eccentric. However, since both Guiding Ariadne and Archfiend Eccentric are pendulum monsters, they are added face up to the extra deck instead of sent to the graveyard. Next question is I activate Invocation and Fusion Summon and Invoked Raijin. At this time, if my opponent activates the effect of their World Legacy World Chalice that sends monsters to the graveyard when they are special summoned from the extra deck, but I chain the effect of Invoked Raijin and change it to face down defense position, what happens? The answer is, in this scenario, if Invoked Raijin was special summoned from the extra deck but is face down when the effect of World Legacy World Chalice resolves, the effect is applied normally and the face down Invoked Raijin is sent to the graveyard. The next question is I normal set a World Legacy World Chalice in face down defense position. Thereafter, when World Legacy World Chalice leaves the field after being flipped face up, can I activate its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from my deck? The answer is, as in this scenario, even if World Legacy World Chalice was originally normal set and then leaves the field after being flipped face up, you can activate its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck. The next question is I normal summon a World Legacy World Chalice face up. In this situation, if my opponent activates Phoenix Wind Blast and returns World Legacy World Chalice to the top of the deck, can I activate its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from my deck? The answer is, as is this scenario, if a normal summon World Legacy World Chalice is returned to the deck, its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck cannot be activated. The next question is I normal summon a World Legacy World Chalice face up in this situation. If World Legacy World Chalice is banished face down by the effect of Transmission Gear, can I activate its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from my deck? The answer is, as in this scenario, if a normal summon World Legacy World Chalice is banished face down, its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck cannot be activated. Next question is a normal summon World Legacy World Chalice is face up on my field, but its effects are negated by the effect of Effect Veiler. In this situation, if World Legacy World Chalice leaves the field, can I activate its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from my deck? The answer is, even if World Legacy World Chalice leaves the field while its effects are being negated, you can activate its effect that special summons 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck. The next question is Aurum, the World Chalice Blade Master, and World Legacy World Chalice that was normal summoned are both face up in my main monster zones. In this situation, when World Legacy World Chalice leaves the field and I activate its effect that special summon 2 World Chalice monsters from my deck, what happens if my opponent chains Ojama Trio? In this scenario, the answer is since 3 Ojama tokens are special summoned by the effect of Ojama Trio, you will only have 1 available main monster zone when resolving the effect of World Legacy World Chalice. In that case, the effect of World Legacy World Chalice is not applied. No monsters are special summoned from the deck. Next question is on Jane Twilight Sworn General. The question is Jane Twilight Sworn General, Lila Twilight Sworn Enchantress, and Lumina Twilight Sworn Shaman are all face up on my field. In this situation, if I activate the first effect of Jane Twilight Sworn General by banishing a Light Sworn monster from my hand or graveyard, how will the other effects of each monster be activated? The answer is, in this scenario, once the first effect of Jane Twilight Sworn General resolves, the second effects of both Lila Twilight Sworn Enchantress and Lumina Twilight Sworn Shaman that send 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard will activate in a new chain. Next, after those effects resolve, the effect of Jane Twilight Sworn General that sends 2 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard activates and resolves. Next question is for Lila Twilight Sworn Enchantress. The question is, Supply Squad is face up on my opponent's field. In this situation, if my opponent activates Mystical Space Typhoon, and I chain the effect of Lila Twilight Sworn Enchantress that destroys a spell/trap card on the field, do I have to target the activated Mystical Space Typhoon? The answer is the effect of Lila Twilight Sworn Enchantress must be chained directly to the activation of a spell/trap card or the effect of a spell/trap card, but it can target any other spell/trap card on the field. In this scenario, you can also target Supply Squad with the effect of Lila Twilight Sworn Enchantress. Next questions are for Punishment Dragon. First question is, if all the cards in both graveyards and that are banished face up are Lightsworn monsters, Lightsworn cards such as Minerva, Lightsworn Maiden, and Lightsworn Barrier, can I activate the effect of Punishment Dragon that returns those cards to the deck? The answer is, if all the cards in both graveyards and that are banished face up are Lightsworn monsters, you cannot activate the effect of Punishment Dragon. If all the cards in both graveyards and that are banished face up include both Lightsworn monsters and Lightsworn spell/trap cards, you can still activate the effect of Punishment Dragon. In that case, only the spell/trap cards are returned to the deck. Next question is, if all the cards in both graveyards and that are banished face up are Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and or Link monsters, can I activate the effect of Punishment Dragon that returns those cards to the deck? The answer is, even if all the cards in both graveyards and that are banished face up are Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and or Link monsters other than Lightsworn monsters, you can activate the effect of Punishment Dragon. Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and Link monsters are returned to the extra deck instead of the main deck. Next questions are for Traptrix Mantis. First question is, Traptrix Mantis and Relinquished are both face up on my field, and Relinquished is equipped to a face down monster by its own effect. In this situation, when activating the effect of Traptrix Mantis, can I target that face down monster equipped to Relinquished? The answer is, as in this scenario, if Relinquished is equipped with a face down monster, that monster is considered a set spell/trap card on your field, so you can target it with the effect of Traptrix Mantis. The equipped monster is returned to the hand, and you can then set another spell/trap card from your hand. Next question is, I activate the effect of Traptrix Mantis and return a set spell/trap card on my field to my hand. Afterwards, if I want to set a spell/trap card from my hand with this effect, can I set an artifact Moral Tack? The answer is, after returning a set spell/trap card to your hand with the effect of Traptrix Mantis, you can set an artifact Moral Tack from your hand by applying this effect. The next question, I activate the effect of Traptrix Mantis and return a set spell/trap card to my hand. Afterwards, if I want to set a spell/trap card from my hand with this effect, is it set to the same spell and trap card zone that the returned card was in? The answer is, after returning a set spell/trap card to your hand with the effect of Traptrix Mantis, If you have other usable zones, you can set a spell/trap card from your hand to those other zones, just as you do when setting spell/trap cards during the main phase. You can choose any available zone. Furthermore, if you set a field spell card, you must use the field zone. Next question is for Zombina. The question is, while there are no monsters in my graveyard, Zombina and Zombie Master are both destroyed at the same time by my opponent's Dark Hole. In this case, can I activate the effect of Zombina in the graveyard? The answer is, as in this scenario, even if Zombina and the other level 4 or lower zombie-type monster are destroyed and sent to the graveyard at the same time by your opponent's card, you can activate the effect of Zombina. The next card is Orbital Hydralander. The first question is, if there are no monsters in my graveyard, can I activate the effect of Orbital Hydralander? The answer is, if there are no monsters in your graveyard, you cannot activate the effect of Orbital Hydralander because it is not a situation where all monsters in your graveyard have different names. Since the effect cannot be negated, you cannot send 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard as a cost. Next question is, if there is only one monster in my graveyard, can I activate the effect of Orbital Hydralander? The answer is, if there is only one monster in your graveyard, you cannot activate the effect of Orbital Hydralander because it is not a situation where all monsters in your graveyard have different names, i.e. you need 2. Since the effect cannot be activated, you cannot send 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard as the cost. Next question is, there are 2 monsters in my graveyard with different names. I activate the effect of Orbital Hydralander by sending 3 cards from the top of my deck to the graveyard, and all 3 are spell/trap cards. If my opponent changes the Transmigration Prophecy so that there is only 1 or more no monsters left in my graveyard, how does the effect of Orbital Hydralander resolve? The answer is, in this scenario, if there are less than 2 monsters in your graveyard with different names, with the effect of Orbital Hydralander resolves, it will not be a situation where all monsters in your graveyard have different names, so you cannot destroy a card on the field. The next card is the Ascendant of Thunder. The first question is, when I attempt to special summon the Ascendant of Thunder by its own effect, my opponent activates Solemn Judgment, negates the summon, and destroys it. In this case, will the effect of the Ascendant of Thunder that increases my life points by 5,000 activate? The answer is, in this scenario, if the special summon of the Ascendant of Thunder was negated by Solemn Judgment and it was destroyed, it was never treated as a card special summoned by its own effect. So the effect that recovers your life points does not activate. The next question is, I special summon the Ascendant of Thunder from my hand by its own effect. Afterward, if Interdimensional Matter Transporter is activated, it banishes it until the end phase, and the Ascendant of Thunder is then destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect. Will the effect that increases my life points by 5,000 activate? The answer is, in this scenario, if the Ascendant of Thunder was special summoned by its own effect and then banished until the end phase by the effect of Interdimensional Matter Transporter, it is not treated as having been special summoned by its own effect, so the effect that increases your life points by 5,000 will not activate when the Ascendant of Thunder is destroyed by your opponent's card. Next question is, I special summon the Ascendant of Thunder from my hand by its own effect. Afterward, if Book of Moon is activated and changes it to face down defense position, and the Ascendant of Thunder is then destroyed by battle or my opponent's card effect, will the effect that increases my life points by 5,000 activate? The answer is, in this scenario, if the Ascendant of Thunder was special summoned by its own effect and then changed to face down defense position by Book of Moon, it is not treated as having been special summoned by its own effect, so the effect that increases your life points by 5,000 will not activate when the Ascendant of Thunder is destroyed by your opponent's card effect. Okay guys, I think that's it for this part 2. Please make sure to look into part 3 when that becomes available. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe, and thank you for your time.